With all the craziness in this world, we are here to have open and honest conversations to help navigate our thoughts.
Sometimes we are right and sometimes we're wrong. But in the end, if we aren't learning, we aren't living.
This is Phillip.
And this is Wes.
And we are
Two Bottles Deep.
Hello, Wes.
Hey, Phil.
How are you, babe?
I am doing great today. Are you in the holiday spirit?
Happy holidays.
It is holiday
It
season.
really is. I got Santa Claus over here over my shoulder.
The old holiday tree behind me.
I like you, babe. You're in the Santa Claus outfit.
I'm in a Santa outfit, like buttons and a belt.
I'm in a Buddy the Elf outfit.
I love Buddy the Elf.
Super festive, babe. How are you?
One of the most famous new holiday movies. That Christmas Vacation.
Buddy the Elf. Oh yeah.
I think it's one of the top ones.
I watch it every year. I love it.
You know, every year I know it's the holiday season. You know
Because of
why?
the Christmas lights.
No.
Okay.
My uncle will post something on Facebook about
goodness.
the war on Christmas, and
That is the war on Christmas.
dadgummit, he can say Merry Christmas if he dadgum wants to.
Oh, okay.
So that's when I know it's not the stores, it's not Walmart having their trees out. It's my uncle and the war on Christmas every year.
Do you respond to him?
Fabricated? Not anymore. I do just want to under it just put happy holidays.
Right.
Like
Happy Kwanzaa.
I'm like, there's 14 holidays in this month, and I just try to be respectful. But all his friends are of the same mindset, so it does work for him to say Merry Christmas to everyone.
Well,
Nothing against it, but that's how I know the holidays are upon us.
They are. And how have you been? I haven't seen you in a little while.
Month of Sundays, as they say.
know.
Dadgummit went to Illinois for the giving of thanks.
Yes. Did you give thanks?
I gave a lot of thanks.
Okay.
Yes.
How
Very
was it?
thankful. It was great. Mammer's birthday's coming up the day after Christmas.
And how old will she be?
90.
Love it.
Big 90.
Oh, Mammer.
Yeah, still driving, still going to the store. She'll drive like 2 hours to see friends, which scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
It really does.
Risky.
It is. I'm like, Grandma, you want to go? You sure? She has to pass the test every year, so she aces it. My nephew Charlie turned 8.
Oh wow.
He had a birthday party at the roller rink.
Oh,
Brings back some memories.
Did you go?
Doesn't it? No.
Oh, you weren't invited.
It was after I got back to Nashville.
Okay. I love a roller skating
I had a
party.
great. Yeah, they have a little
Love it.
putt-putt golf there and the arcades for kids. But what I did do this the first time that I've done this with my nephews is I took him to breakfast and shopping.
Okay.
And then my other nephew, he turns 8 next year. So then I'll take him
love
shopping or to breakfast and
What's
shopping.
the price point for shopping? You give him
That's
like
the thing. Yeah, that was the
He's like, can I get a PlayStation 9 or whatever they are?
I talked to my brother and sister-in-law about it. And so I kind of knew what gifts like they were getting him or what gifts Santa was giving him. But other than that, I'm like, I don't know. But he loves Lamborghinis.
You got him a Lamborghini.
I got him a green Lamborghini remote control.
Yes.
$46.99 at Walmart.
Okay, he loved it.
Oh yeah, we went up and down the aisles of Walmart, and this was the day after 2 days after Thanksgiving. So there was like no shoppers there. I was kind of terrified because I don't like the shopping crowds. And then we were just going up and down the aisles, and there was just such brightness in his eyes, and it was just so much fun. But the most special part, we were at breakfast, and he's in 2nd grade, so we got in the booth, and he's like, Uncle Wes, can I sit on your side? So he sat on my side of the booth, and we talked about school and friends and Christmas, and it was just so much fun. Then we went shopping, and he's at the age he can sit up front now, and they don't need booster seats anymore. So it was really
so
fun.
important for kids to spend time with people like you, uncles, aunts, and all that.
Yeah.
Quality time, those one-on-one times, because it's always like family situations where it's big groups.
That's
and
it.
They don't get a chance to connect with you. So
Right.
that's awesome.
And I was going to ask you because you have, when your family comes in, and is it always everyone's always together?
Yeah,
so it's hard to get that.
Definitely there's times that I have taken the kids out, on their own, but I wish I could do that more. It's just hard as they get older. I'm glad you're doing it now. My nieces and nephews are at a point where you have to get penciled in to their schedule.
Oh yeah.
And then, they're running track or cross country or there's a play, there's always something. So you got to be a little more intentional about it. But I love that.
And going back, seeing friends, going to the coffee shop, it's just kind of going back to that small hometown for the holidays. And people are, I've seen teachers that I haven't seen in 30 years. and they come up, give me a hug, and it was just really nice to be back.
Good.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Good. I went up to DC. It was with Brooks and Greg and their family.
Yeah.
It was really special. We had a few. They had a few people over. I helped with the turkey.
Okay. Is this the first time turkey? Have you baked one before?
I'm going to make a confession, and
Don't let
the
Phil
only
touch
way
the
I'll
turkey.
know if Brooks and Greg listen to this is if they call me, because I didn't think I would do this, but let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's a lot of fun.
It's a turkey. It's like an 18-pound. I mean, it's a big turkey. And Brooks and I, we brined it. We're stuffing it with lemon and onions, and just all the things. And we had a rub, and it took forever. It was really fun, just talking, watching the parade. And so it took, I don't know, 5 hours to cook or something. And you have a meat thermometer, so we knew it had to be at a certain temperature in order for it to be finished. And about maybe 4 hours in, we pull it out and check it. It was like 140 something. And I was like, let's put it back in and we'll maybe do another 15, 20 minutes and then we can let it rest. And then when it came time to pull the turkey out, I was like, where's the meat thermometer? We looked everywhere. I mean, we were in drawers and all that. I left the meat thermometer in the turkey and put it back in the oven.
Is this like a plastic meat thermometer? Like a
meat thermometer.
Okay.
When I opened the door, I was so embarrassed. I pulled it out quickly and put the hot meat thermometer in my pocket. Because I was so worried that I had ruined Thanksgiving.
Wait, so
like, where did it go? And I was like, I have no idea. So, Brooks and Greg, if you're listening, I want to just be honest with you. I baked the meat thermometer, but no one died.
Did it? So it didn't like contaminate the turkey? No iron.
Yeah, I went into the bathroom and looked it up. I was like, many people do this. So yeah, it was a metal one.
Okay, so it's safe. Yeah,
we're good. We had a really good time. Their kids are young. I'm going to butcher their ages. I never know unless they're like 20 or over. So they're young, kindergarten and second grade maybe. And it just helped me realize I love kids, but I am not prepared to be a parent. Like the youngest one, Abby, wanted me to help her read. You know how hard it is to teach a kid like how to spell out something? She's like, can you help me? And the word's cat. And I'm like, it's a K sound. She's like, K. I'm like, well, that's right. But that's not right. It also makes us like circus. And she's like, S. I'm like, no. The English language is really
welcome
crazy.
to English language. Yeah.
So I felt really dumb there. And then the older one, Thomas, is so intrigued and always trying to learn new stuff. And he's like, Theo, will you read me a bedtime story? And I'm like, absolutely. In my mind, it's going to be like Green Eggs and Ham or, some Dr. Seuss stuff. We were on chapter 12. I lay in bed, and it was like chapter 12, the Holocaust. What?
What book is he reading?
It was it was a book appropriate for his age that just helped explain World War II in very simple terms. Wow. But he was like, Theo, where's Nuremberg? I'm like, well, ask your dad. He's obviously the smart one. Good
question for him.
I left there and I was like, I love children so much, but I'm probably a good idea that I don't have them.
What's your energy level? So, and I ask that because you have great energy. What's it like around kids? Were you tired after it? Were you pumped? Like, do you feed off that energy?
No, I definitely do. But I also have to catch myself because the responses I normally give to an adult, it can't be the same. So I'll have like a glitchy response in my head. Like Abby was like, do you own your home? And I was like,
do you own your home?
Yeah. I mean, I had to trickle through like stuff like that. But I mean, yes, they're exhausting, but it's just because it's a different form of engagement.
Right.
You get used to it, I'm sure. But I loved it. I love being around them. They're, when people are so excited to see you, that is a feeling that's very difficult to surpass.
Sure.
They were so thrilled. And I was like, no one does that when I go to a bar here. Oh my God! What? They're just like, no, here she is. You're normal. So, but it was good. We had a great time.
I was talking to my dad one time, and he's like, "I'll never ever forget those moments of when I would pull up from work and you and your brother would come running out the house, down the
Yeah.
driveway, like meet him at the end of the
We
driveway
did the
and
same
run
thing.
back."
Yes. Run beside
And
the
it's like,
truck.
yeah, and it's great that 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 your friends are going through that. I bet your parents
Oh,
had
yeah.
that experience with grandkids, and now my parents have grandkids. So I'm glad that because I do not want kids. Same reason. I love being around my nieces and nephews and friends' kids, but it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know if I could do that 24/7. And I applaud people who do because I know you get that feeling whenever you have a kid, it just changes your life.
And I have a feeling if you talk to parents, they'd say something like, "We didn't think we could do it either," right? Like,
Right, right.
it's obviously a challenge, and you'd figure out how to do it. But looking from the outside in, you're just like, "I feel stupid. I don't know any of the answers. They're always asking why." I'm like, I don't know why. Like,
I
it's just because."
I don't know if I could do math homework nowadays.
Oh, I can't do any homework at all. Oh, well. Well,
Yeah.
all right, before we get into this episode, I'd like to apologize.
What happened, Phil?
Well, apparently, we had done our most recent episode with our friends,
Yes, Tara and
yes,
Evan.
and I thought I had split it up into 2 episodes, and then Wes texts me in the middle of a workday, and it's like, "Did we go for an hour and a half for the first one?" And I was like,
Because I forget a lot,
Yeah.
to be quite honest.
So anyway, for all of y'all listening, there's not a part 2. Part 1 is part 2.
Yeah.
And, thank you, to Tara and Evan for doing that
Oh,
with
that
us.
was so great.
When I listened back to our episode with them, I loved it.
They are such great guests, and they're great hosts as well.
Yeah.
I wish I had half their energy to
agree.
do that. They're so amazing.
And Tara does a good job of, like, marketing it and the way she puts out it's just
Our like headshots when they're
I know.
like, Tara, are
I
you?
was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna put that on Tinder."
Tara's for hire, I think.
She
so,
is.
yeah, we
She
may have to
is.
consult with her.
All right, so this is our last episode
Of 20 and
of
23.
2023. We're getting ready for the
Lord.
holidays.
I got something in my throat. Don't
Oh,
answer that.
okay.
Don't answer
The following is not appropriate for children.
Speaking of gifts.
Yeah, speaking of gifts, I'd like to do, are you up for a little Christmas trivia?
I love that sound. I love like the Christmas movies. Remember like the
Yes.
Rudolph and they would like go through the snow, those little things, those little characters.
Absolutely.
Oh,
I
that
only
was
saw that
such a
once. The first time when I started watching, I was like, "How dumb is this?" I was an adult. So like seeing it then, I'm like, "This is so stupid." We have animation. But
Yeah.
I do
The
appreciate
old school
it.
is a way to
All right.
go.
So I have 3 questions for you pertaining to Christmas. Are
Okay.
you ready?
Sure.
Okay. So your first question:
Hmm.
do you know why we give Christmas gifts?
People see the cross on my arm and I think they assume that I know everything about Jesus.
I doubt that.
So I think it's because Jesus was born on Christmas,
Yep.
or he was born and then they named it Christmas, and they brought him like iron and ore and gold or something. There were right?
Iron?
Or iron ore.
Frankincense and myrrh. Iron?
Oh my God, doTERRA has frankincense oil.
Who
And
does?
doTERRA Living for
What
$39.95
is
a month.
doTERRA living?
doTERRA is the
You
oil.
can't keep saying it.
doTERRA. No, it's
It's
an
a
oil, like
okay.
peppermint oil, lemon oil.
Oh.
You could bake with it. You could diffuse it and put it in the air. Lemon oil is great for sanitizing.
That is not the reason we do Christmas gifts.
Oh. Well, they gave Jesus gifts.
That's the reason.
Well, they brought like
There we
sheep
go.
and shit.
Yes. We give gifts at Christmas to mimic the presents that the 3 wise men gave, which were
Iron.
Nope.
No, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Whatever myrrh is.
Myrrh. I thought myrrh was
Like
a sound you made. Myrrh.
myrrh.
Isn't that what a cat does?
Yeah,
Myrrh.
myrrh. No, it's purr.
Purr. Okay.
But like a cow's like myrrh
Yeah.
or
I
moo.
feel like I could do a better cow.
Try it. That is
Oh,
like
that's a
it's a
bull.
dying buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Well, a sheep
myrrh,
is
myrrh, and then
Frankincense,
frankincense
or-
and
I
gold.
love that you said, what'd you say?
iron, ore, and
Just-
gold.
Can you imagine if they just show up with a massive amount of iron.
Yeah.
Here you go, Jesus.
Build a bridge.
Build a bridge. All right. Your second question. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
How did Christmas trees get started? Like, why is that a tradition?
I'm going to take a wild guess.
We normally do.
I usually have like some direction in life. I have never, ever thought of this question.
Okay.
Like Christmas, I kind of knew, right? Minus I was off. The Christmas tree?
Mm-hmm.
How did that
why do we do Christmas trees?
Because there was a tree by the manger, and they ended up putting the gifts under
it.
I'm assuming because they were outside, because every nativity scene is outside.
Yeah, I mean, they're not in a warehouse.
Well, it could have been in. Oh, yeah, I guess it was olden days.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They needed, I don't know.
I didn't know this
some
either.
drunk guys.
I just assumed it's like 60 years ago that, American capitalism was like, let's make more money and find another reason to sell stuff. But no, the tradition of Christmas trees goes all the way back to ancient Egyptians and Romans. They would decorate evergreen trees during the winter solstice to signify that spring would return. So this has been going on forever and ever.
Also, it's nothing to do with Jesus or presents.
We will take a tradition from anybody.
Like, let's merge these two.
Right, with myrrh.
It's kind of my favorite my favorite comedian is Jim Gaffigan, and he has that great skit about Easter. And like, Jesus came back from the dead. What do we do? He's like, how about eggs?
And some ham.
You will hide them. So that's where I feel the Christmas tree was just snuck in there.
Yeah, I don't exactly know how it works, but all right. Now, you know who Saint Nick is, right?
Santa Claus.
Okay. Who was the real Saint Nick? It's based on actually a person.
Start with saint. Like a priest or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was a priest.
Yeah. Saint Nick.
Before
he was a priest.
So BC.
I don't know.
Or I guess this would be, wait.
It has to be AC.
Oh, yeah, because Christ was born.
Right.
There's a song about that. If not, we should make one. Yeah, there's a priest that did something.
He was a bishop. He was a Christian bishop that gave away his large inheritance to the poor and to help women get out of servitude. They were in like this kind of slavery type situation. So he helped with that. And in Dutch, his name was Sinterklaas, which later morphed into Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
So this is a real guy who just gave up all his money to help people.
That is so nice. Kind of like a modern day Warren Buffett giving away billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sinterklaas. Sounds like cinder block.
It does. Sinterklaas. Maybe it's Sinterklaas. It's two A's. I can't teach people how to read. So
my mother's maiden name is Klaus, Claus.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
A distant relative of the Christian bishop.
You
should do 23andMe. And they're like, you are Jesus' great.
Here's some wealth.
Here's some wealth.
Do I get part of the bishop's?
I think it's gone. Yeah. I think
I mean, if the Vanderbilt.
How much money does a bishop have, though?
I mean, if the Vanderbilt money's already gone in like 100 years.
Oh, it's gone.
This guy. When was this? Like
after Jesus.
Like 1-8 it started the next year.
I doubt that. I think this is probably a lot further along.
Okay. Yeah.
We're talking about
1600s or something.
Yeah. Talking about Holland and
you're really good because you had the Halloween episode.
I try to do a little research because I read that and I'm like, what?
Like we don't even know. We don't even know what happened was.
All right. We hang stockings, right? Every year.
Over the fireplace.
Why do we do that? Why do we hang stockings? How did that get started?
I'm going to say, so cinder block came down the chimney. Sinterklaas came down the chimney.
Even though he was a bishop.
Oh, that's right. That's not, okay. So anyway.
He climbed on a roof, climbed down the chimney in a burning fireplace.
In the cold of winter. And lost the sock. And then we just hung it up to dry because it was wet from the snow.
Okay, you're not far off with part of that. So legend has
it.
Yeah. The legend has it that one year, a poor widowed man who didn't have enough money for his 3 daughters, he was trying to have money for their dowries. And so generous old Saint Nick dropped a bag of gold down their chimney and then into a freshly washed stocking that was hung by the fire to dry. So that was a legend that then just continued, and now we hang stockings.
That's where they dry on.
Yeah. And now we put PlayStation 2s and stuff in there instead of
I did tell my nephews, I said, "For this Christmas, you're gonna get a stocking full of fruit and vegetables and nuts." And they just looked at
They were
me.
like, "Get out of here."
Back in the day, the children would have leaped with joy.
We did. We always got like Trident gum or like
Yeah,
Big
the
Red.
Pez
Yes.
dispensers.
Or you'd get like a sock or
The
socks. It'd be weird to get one
One
sock.
sock.
You know,
Like, what's his name over here?
yeah, the stockings were interesting because now I think they just stuff it with anything.
Oh, lottery tickets.
And
You
also,
name
they
it.
don't even hang them anymore. They're so full, they have to like lay them out.
Yeah, ours would be laid under the tree,
Yeah.
not on the hearth.
There you go.
Whatever it's called.
Hearth. All right, 5th question. What holiday was Jingle Bells originally written for?
Well, I want to state the obvious, but it's probably not Christmas, right? It's not Christmas. Jingle Bell Rock.
No, Jingle Bells. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
Okay, what other? I don't. Okay, so there's got to be snow involved. So what other holidays
There you go.
are
You're on the right
around?
track.
So there's nothing after Christmas other than Valentine's. Not a lot of people laugh at that. Thanksgiving.
You're right, babe.
Whoa!
James Lowell Pierpont. He wrote a song called One Horse Open Sleigh. He wrote it for his church's Thanksgiving concert in the mid-19th century. And then in 1857, the song was released under the title that we know it now. So he was saying at the Thanksgiving concert, they're going to all leave the church and get into their sleigh, look at the snow, and it was getting ready.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't even a
wow.
Christmas song.
But we changed it.
We'll make money off that.
There we go. Oh, wow. I'm 1 for 5.
All right. Nailed it. All right. What is the most recorded Christmas song ever?
Oh, ever. I'm going to say, rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Little Miss Sunshine, Little Miss Dynamite, Brenda Lee. Final answer.
Not correct.
Good. That's
Silent
the only
Night.
one. Oh.
Silent Night has 733 different versions.
Like different languages
I think
or different tempos?
Yeah, I think it's all of that. It's like whoever records it, you know.
Oh, it's a different version.
733 different recordings for different artists.
And that song's been around a lot longer.
Long time. It was copyrighted in 1978.
Oh, I thought it has been around since Jesus.
I think it's Silent Night?
Yeah, like because it was silent that night.
I don't think they like wrote it that night. I think they wrote it.
Now that we have the myrrh and frankincense.
Jesus is here. We've got some iron.
Silent night, holy night.
Finish it.
All is calm, all is bright. And then there's a virgin and something else.
Yeah, round yon virgins. I'm like round young or round young or young.
Virgin, simple and mild. Or is that the word? Simple and wild?
Young virgins. Oh, I don't know.
Anyway, there is your.
All right, you got 1 out of 6.
All right.
Failing.
And I had a half of one. So I got
yeah, so
1 and a half
1.5.
somewhere. That's fun. Yeah. It gives some reality that we don't really know
You just go with
what
it.
the season is for. And a lot of that didn't even do with Jesus.
Yeah.
So the season is for him. Apparently not.
Sort of.
Yeah, half and half. Like, let's give him some credit. Like, 'cause he came to this place.
What did you? All right, so let's talk about Christmas in general.
Oh, man.
What was your like? We talk about gifts. Do you have like a first holiday memory?
Yep.
The very first one you could remember.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
For Christmas.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I love your face. I got a slide one year. Yeah. And that was
Was it in the house?
It was in the house.
Okay.
So
So you came downstairs.
came downstairs, and my brother and I were 3.5 years apart. So we would meet at the top of the stairs and look down because we could see our Christmas tree, right? And then we would talk, but we'd be quiet so mom and dad didn't hear us. Well, they revealed to us like 3 years ago that they heard everything because they knew on Christmas we were up at 4 a.m. Like the excitement, and you can't sleep. And the night before, they probably gave us Benadryl because we wanted to catch Santa. And there was one year that I got up and I put pots and pans at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, that's
So I would
smart.
hear who came up and down the stairs because I was trying to catch my mom and dad.
Mm.
But this particular year, I'll never forget, it was this wooden hardy board like slide that had stairs on it and then the slide down the front. And I was so little at that time because I used the underneath as like a fort. And then I would draw on the inside like this
Oh,
little
yeah.
fort thing. And it was just that's one of my most favorite gifts ever. And I'll never forget that. There's been a lot of good gifts. My grandfather built me this big barn and he had like shutters on it and all this. Yeah, it was probably like 3 foot long,
Like you
2
could
foot
stand up in
wide.
the barn?
Like it was for my like little tractors and
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, it was like a 2 foot high, 3 feet long. It was this big barn. I got that in 1985 for my 5th birthday.
I was 11.
And yeah, so I got a barn. My nephews play with it now.
Oh,
And
I
my
love that.
granddaddy built all of it. But yeah, a lot of those good gifts. So the slide was my very first gift. And as you just experienced my singing skills, I got a karaoke machine.
Oh. How old were you
Oh,
then?
God, I was
In the 80s?
8. Yeah, I was 88 or 89.
Oh.
And I remember maybe 90 because one of the songs on there was because it came with a cassette tape,
Yes.
right? They had the
Here
2
for it.
microphones and the cassette tray at the top. And one was the Winona, like where she looked in the window. I saw the light in your window tonight.
Oh.
I saw 2
You were
shadows holding
were you
each
wearing a
other
wig and a
tight.
dress or?
And mom and dad turned me gay at that point when they turned
Turned
on the
me.
Winona. But yeah, no, that was another gift in the 80s. How about you?
I was because I was interested to see like what was popular during our time as children because I remember certain gifts, but I don't remember because the kids these days are getting like much better gifts. I don't know if better is the right word. Different. Yeah. One of the first gifts I remember is the racetrack that you put the little car on, and you had the little. All it did was you hit the red thing, and it made the car go around, and there was one
A
like,
loop.
and the car always was going so fast it went off the side every time.
Yeah,
So that was to me.
that was great.
It was one circle, and we just did over and over. You could race 2 cars.
Uh-huh.
Talk about fight. So I was looking up like what were the top gifts when I was 5 and when you were 5. So when I was 5, it was 1979. All right, in case you're doing your math. So that was the car racing gift. We talked about that one. The other 3 of the most popular gifts when I was 5: a Connect 4 set, a drum set, and a hula hoop.
Phillip grew up in the 50s.
Wow.
No. Yeah, drum sets are how a parent would give a drum set to a child.
Yeah, I never got a drum set. I don't think I got a hula
My
hoop
parents
either.
are like, you're not getting.
We did get Connect 4.
Connect 4 is such a great game.
I always won.
Those are classic times, though. It's kind of like when you're on YouTube watching like some like throwback and old commercials come on. That recording there. It's like I want to go back to those times. So in '85, it was WWE. Well, they called it WWF back then, and we actually had one of those big wrestling rings with the full size figures that were.
Oh, so you could put them in there and do the.
Yeah, and it had the rings and the ropes. And
was Hulk Hogan the big thing then?
Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant was big. And yeah, the ring, and then we got the authentic championship belts. I got a big belt one year. Yes, it was like, and I wore it and stuff. I wish I did. Just like wrestling's coming back around. But I was a huge wrestling fan. We always watched the pay-per-views and all that. But yeah, we had the big wrestling ring, and you put the action figures in there and wrestle with them and stuff, and had real ropes and real everything. It was just so cool. In that era, and the toys back then, the Cabbage Patch dolls, Garbage Pail Kids.
They weren't attractive dolls.
No, you look back and you're like, these
looked like they had issues.
I did get a doll for Christmas. Do you remember the My Buddy? My Buddy. He's my buddy. Yeah, it's a life-size doll.
Oh.
And yeah, it's kind of creepy.
No, don't answer
the first thing.
That was his first boyfriend. It was
my
a male
first
doll?
experience. It was a male doll, and the first thing I did was cut
Is
its
that
hair.
weird?
I cut its hair.
Your parents got you a full-size.
Full size. It's my buddy. I had like
What'd you do with it,
had
though?
the Oscar. You would just haul it around. Like I wasn't 12.
Buddy!
My buddy. And then we had this little chair set. So I wrote his name underneath the chair. I flip it over. We still have that table and chairs at my parents' house, actually. Little niece and nephew.
My buddy. I remember the Cabbage Patch.
Cabbage Patch. And those were the dolls. But then they had trading cards called Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And the girl that would always like snot, and there was
Snot
a cartoon. She was the hairdresser. She had snot.
Just snot in her hands.
Pound puppies. I still have my
I remember
pound puppies.
Yep.
I got them in my apartment. My parents were like cleaning out the house and like take the pound
Take your
puppies.
pound. We don't want them
Yes.
anymore. What happened to Buddy?
I don't know if we still have him. I need to look.
Upstairs.
Yeah, I cut his hair.
somewhere.
I just cut his hair one day.
What'd you
Yeah.
do? Just like a bowl cut?
I think he already had a bowl cut. And I
Oh.
wanted to.
You were
I knew what a
jazzed it up
fade
little bit.
was.
You're like, it's almost New Year's. Let's give Buddy a look.
Like I'm 7. I'm a
Did you
stylist.
kiss Buddy at all?
No,
You never
did
liked.
not kiss Buddy. We did have the life
You never looked
size
at his
Hulk
butt or
Hogan.
anything?
No, I don't think I knew I was gay then.
Yeah.
Well, I knew.
Yeah,
Like,
but you weren't interested in Buddy's
that's
butt.
probably why I was gay.
Right.
Teddy
Buddy
Ruxpin.
turned you gay.
Did you have Teddy Ruxpin?
Uh-uh.
You put it's a little teddy bear. You put a cassette tape in his back, and then his mouth moved, and he would sing and talk.
See,
I
these
forget
are the best you're a lot
days.
younger than me because mine, we didn't have a lot of the like advanced
The
electronic
electronics.
stuff. Ours
See,
were like, here's a bag of candy.
Do you miss your growing up time frame, like that era?
I mean, I don't know if miss. In my mind, miss means I want to go back to it. I don't. I mean, I enjoyed it.
You
I loved it.
reminisce.
Had a
Do you
wonderful-
reminisce a
I
lot?
love to reminisce about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back.
In a way, I want to go back. I love that time, and it's probably because I was a kid and didn't have bills or worries.
Right.
But it was
What's for
just
dinner,
like
Mom?
all the toys, and we were outside. We didn't have the technology. It was so wonderful to go outside, and we were blessed with great neighbors. We'd all like open our presents, and then we all go like play with each other.
Oh,
We'd
yeah.
either like, and a lot of times it was snowing in Illinois for Christmas, so we would put on our long johns and our snowsuits and our caps and go out there and just run around to each other like the toys we got.
Oh yeah.
And then go to like everybody else's houses. But the parents didn't want us in houses because like 12 kids would just show up, and then you have like
Why'd you
snow.
go to the neighbors?
Yeah. Tom and John went to it.
Yeah,
Just
you
go
could go there.
over.
They're
Yeah.
calling you over right
Yeah,
now.
Terry and Linda, they're having breakfast. But yeah,
What was your worst gift? Can you remember? I have a couple.
yeah, it would have been from like distant family members. One of those if grandma and grandpa had like everybody over, and that was like the one time I saw my like half cousins or step cousins. Their parents would get us a shirt if they were in like Wyoming or
It
something.
just said
And
Wyoming on it.
it would say, or there'd be like this wolf on it. One time I got a small, and I was not a small child.
Like,
I'm
here's a
just like,
bodysuit.
and I remember the bodysuit. I
This
had
is
a,
Skims.
I had a midriff.
Oh, midriff.
Is that what those shirts are called?
Yeah.
Like the little half up?
Yeah.
But I remember at that point, like my first lie, I looked at my head, I'm like, I love it. Thank you. And I'm like, I am never wearing this. And I was 7.
Did y'all open gifts one at a time?
We
Or
do.
just close?
Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Yep. One at a time.
My worst gifts.
Plural.
Again, distant relatives, or actually, this was from like friends of the family. I got a 10-pound bag of peppermint, and I hate peppermint. At that point in my life, hated.
Wait, so you got
Actively did not eat it.
like you got peppermint leaves?
No, peppermint candy.
Oh,
A 10-pound bag of peppermint candy.
it was not a joke.
No. And I was like,
I would
Hell
love
no.
to.
no, but I did the same thing. I was like, oh my God, peppermint. Oh, living.
Like this
I
is
just
going
stood
in
it
the
over to my
trash.
brother. I'm like, you can get diabetes. I don't want this shit. And then my great aunt got us, me and my 2 brothers, a burgundy wool V-neck sweater that had our initials in large monogram. But you know how like the H is in the middle of the last name? Because the
Oh
bigger,
yeah.
it's like PhD.
Mhm.
And I opened it and I was like, who is PhD? Like, And I was expecting toys at this point in my life.
You don't want
A wool
clothes.
sweater,
You don't want you don't want
I
clothes.
never forgave her for that. But, I wonder, I was trying to figure out what are the most popular gifts now for 5-year-olds.
I wanna know because I probably won't know what half of them are.
So the top 3 now, I don't know who came up with this, so if you reach out and you're like, "It's not right," get over it, figure it out.
Yeah, just Google it.
Um,
Have your own Google
yeah,
search.
yeah, do your own thing. Start a podcast. My favorite one was this one. For 5-year-olds, one of the number 1 gifts is the Amazon Echo Dot.
Which
For
is
a 5-year-old to sit beside their
a
bed and be like, "Hey, hey Siri," or no, it's not Siri, "Hey Alexa, what's the weather? What's the temp" it's the thing that you can, like, interact with. What 5-year-old is playing with this?
I don't know, and if they are, they're never gonna, like, learn to look stuff up and research on
It's
their
just
own.
right there. All you gotta
It's just
say
right
is
there. It's like
I
AI.
guess I use it for music, and you can play some games on it. So there's the Amazon
How
Echo
what
Dot.
games can you play on something that you talk to?
Oh, I do it all the time. There's music games, there's,
Oh, so they ask
trivia
you
games.
questions. Okay, I
Yeah,
get the trivia.
fun. They play
Okay,
some music, and you gotta guess which song it is.
and you talk to it, and they listen? They're like,
Yeah,
"That's Body
I
Yachty
call that
by
date night.
Mariah Carey."
Yeah.
Date night, okay. I'm just
Um
not a technology. I don't think I would like that.
Number 2 is the Elmer's Celebration Slime Kit.
I loved sniffing Elmer's glue.
The only
Did
thing we
you
did
ever
with
do
Elmer's
that?
glue is we would put the Elmer's glue on your palm and let it dry and then be like, "Oh my god, my skin's coming off. Oh
You feel
my."
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I preferred sniffing stuff.
The Elmer's, it would dry in this really fun way, so it was, "What are you sniffing?
We
Like,
the glue.
what
Have you ever
happens?"
sniffed glue? Y'all have had to sniff glue,
I'm
I
not
think,
saying I
yeah, like
wouldn't do it, I just didn't know I could do it.
it just smelled so good. It's like
Oh,
the smell of a new book.
you're not, like, over there
You're not
smoking
getting
a cigarette after you do it, like,
Ah,
"Hey,
no,
mama, hand
you
me the Elmer's. Buddy and I are about to have date night."
no, you were in kindergarten and playtime, you just, like, sniff the glue,
Mm,
you know?
I didn't do that.
Oh, yeah, we did.
The last
Great.
one, this is my favorite. For a 5-year-old, a VTech Kitty zoom camera.
No clue what that
It's
is.
just a camera, but it zooms in. Like, what
What's it
5-year-old's taking pictures?
they need to be playing with establishing motor skills at that
Oh, I guess
point.
they're doing that with their
Maybe
camera.
they can. So you zoom in on what? It's just like
Whatever,
an
yeah.
iPhone camera thing?
No, it looks like the basic, like, toy camera, but
Oh.
it zooms and all that.
Oh, okay.
So, hey, get your 5-year-old some peppermint. It'll be
Phillip still has a 5 pound. You've gone through some of it, I'm
No,
assuming.
that was years ago. I gave it to my brother, and I was like, "You figure it out." I
I would
think his
love you
teeth
still
fell out.
had that bag.
So yeah, what was the other one I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you? Memorable worst gift? Oh, tradition. What was your, like, favorite holiday tradition that you and the family, like, your inner circle of family, like, what did y'all do that you always look forward to every
Oh,
year at Christmas?
yep. We got to pick a present and then
Yes.
but we would never wanna pick one that we knew was like new pajamas
Yeah.
or sweater. So my brother and I would be looking around, we'd hold these, like some of the presents, and we got to open one on Christmas Eve.
Mm.
'Cause the way my mom grew up and the way my dad grew up was different. So mom would they would go to church and then come home, and Santa had already been there after midnight mass.
Mm.
So they would get home and they would do Christmas at like 1 AM because all the presents had been there, they had fruit out and all that stuff. And that was in the '50s and '60s. And but my dad, they always opened it on Christmas Day. So ours was one on Christmas Eve, and then we'd wake up and Santa had brought more gifts.
Of course. And mom always made sure that there was a gift from Santa. It'd be like, "From Santa to Philip." But then it would also be like, "From mom and dad to Philip." And I'm like, "Well, that's nice." Multiple gifts.
Yeah.
But we did I just, like, I always remember Christmas morning was always so exciting, and we always took our time with it. Like, I don't like seeing families that just
Rip.
blast through it,
Yeah.
just throwing stuff, everybody's opening at once. We literally would go present to present, it'd take, like, hours
Same.
to get through it. But you would literally watch them and try
Mhm.
it on or, take a picture with, like,
You had to take the picture,
forever. I
yeah.
love that. So, I'm gonna continue that.
Do y'all still do that?
Oh, yeah. It could take I mean, when my nieces and nephews were really young, I mean, I think it was 3 days of just opening
Yeah.
presents, just nonstop. But, you just, "Oh, look. Oh, let me see it. Let me try it,"
Yeah.
So I love that.
Okay, so speaking of the gifts, at what age were you when all the writing, even from Santa, looked the same?
I don't think I was ever smart enough to figure that out ahead of time. I think it was one of those, like, well, of course, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I remember exactly when I found out about Santa Claus.
I kept it in because I don't remember what age, it was probably 2nd or 3rd grade, because now Charlie and Diem, they're in 2nd grade and they're questioning it. So Diem's like, "Yeah, Santa's not real," and Charlie gets upset.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like me and my brother and I. It was identical. So I wanna say 2nd, 3rd grade, but I'm like, "Hmm, Santa's writing looks a lot like mom's writing."
Is Santa a woman?
And I'm like, it's just okay, it's got the cursive, it's got the A, yep,
You're doing,
I
like,
think that is
CSI
yeah.
analysis on a microscope.
I sit down at dinner and I'm like, "Mother and father,
I've got a
I've
question.
something is concerning me of the past 2 years."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of the first time, and then Santa showed up at our home. It was a snowstorm, and there had to been I remember snow drifting on our roof because we lived out in the country, and snow would literally drift where you could walk up to the roof.
Yeah.
So Santa
Oh,
showed up
goodness.
one Christmas Eve. Ho, ho, ho,
You're
and all
freaking
that.
out.
And me and my brother are like, "Oh my god. Oh my god." And then he gets in and we open the box and there were these St. Louis Cardinals bedside lamps that had a lamp on the inside that lit up the logo, and then it had a lamp at the top for the light bulb. And then I looked up, I'm like, Santa looks like Tom McKinney. and and
You're
I
like,
knew
"Let me
Tom.
just go with this.
I'm
I'm afraid
like,
they'll take
I'm
my
like,
gifts away."
okay, I'm just, and we got a picture with Santa. We still have it. It was in our entryway right there. And I knew Tom well. Like we'd always like he worked for my grandpa. He was a bus driver for grandpa. So we'd always saw him at the office, sit on his lap. He cross his leg, give us like horse rides. So I'm like, that's
You're
that's
like,
fucking that's
I know
fucking
him.
Tom.
I know him.
But I was like 5, so
Yeah.
I couldn't say it. But I'm like, oh my god. So we, whatever. But I'll never forget that.
I don't remember, like, a big aha moment. It was just, like, gradual information where I was like, it's almost like you don't want to say anything because if you do, what if it ruins your gifts? Like, what if you
Yeah.
don't get them anymore? Once you know, you're
Right.
just like, "Well, so you're on your own."
You keep going with
Yeah.
it. You
Um,
gotta keep going.
I think I asked mom and dad about it, and it was just kind of like, "Do you really wanna know what this is about?" And, like, "No." But I remember my nephew, he's so smart, but he was like, "Uncle Fuff, how can Santa get around to, like, 38 billion people in a 24-hour period and stop
Yeah.
and deliver gifts?" And I was like, "Okay." Again, I have no idea how to answer that. Let's go do
I
something else.
could not be a parent for this one
Yeah.
reason right here.
I was just like, "John David, you handle this. It's not my thing."
I'm gonna go get a martini.
Right.
So what traditions will you continue? Are there new traditions that you would start?
I do love, I've been going to Christmas Eve service at, Belmont Methodist. It is
Mhm.
this absolutely beautiful. They do candlelight service at the very end, where they turn all the lights off and you sing
Oh,
and do, so I love that, and then going back to my house or whoever's house we're doing it at and doing a nice dinner and playing games and maybe opening gifts with kids. But Christmas Day, I love the slow rollout, get up early, chill out, relax, do
mhm.
gifts, and then spend more time, quality time. I don't want it to be like gifts are open, the kids go play, and then I'm just sitting in the living room, looking at TikToks about how much, other kids get. Like,
Yeah,
let's open some gifts, but let's spend some quality time together.
yeah.
So yeah, that would be a tradition. Just that whole series is something I really look forward to.
Okay.
What about you?
I like that. Same, slow it down a little bit. I want like, if I had kids, I think these kids get a lot of gifts, and it's really overwhelming, and especially then, like, my little niece, she'll just play with the box,
Mhm.
and I'm like, Okay, well, heck with screw what's
Should've just
inside the
wrapped the
damn box.
box.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is kind of slow it down a little bit, wake up, put the cinnamon rolls on and the coffee. And
Yes.
but my mom will just like no one's in the kitchen. I have to do it all, which I love. I love that part of my mom. She wants to serve everybody and help. But I'm like, I wish I was in there just kind of helping a little
Yeah.
bit, you know? So if I ever hosted it and had a family and stuff, I would probably be in control of that. It's like, okay, couple people come in the kitchen, the rest of y'all stay in there and play with the kids. We can rotate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's just jolly and happy and laughing and playing with toys. And
I think for me, it's just as little stress as possible. Like, don't put any stress on time or like we have to be done by this point or we got to do here. Like let's just relax
yeah,
and appreciate the time we've got.
maybe that's why I love back then when I was talking about going back to 1985, right? We didn't have that stress. And I remember sitting with my great grandparents and my grandparents, and maybe they had stress of, is the thermometer still in the turkey? I don't know if they had that stress.
Yeah.
But to me, I didn't have that stress. And I remember, and we still have all the pictures from sitting on the patio and around the Christmas tree. And I post them every year for Mammer's birthday on the 26th of December. And we always have bows in our hair. We put all the bows around our face and our head after we open the presents. And it was just being with family. And I think I'm such a family person. I really miss my great grandparents. And I'm so glad I had time with them. But I'm like, I want that back. Because then when I have a dream about them, it's just so real again. I'm like, but I think you're right. We didn't have stress then. Parents maybe did, but we didn't have that
they
stress.
were like,
Yeah, but they probably wanted to go back into their time.
Right.
So
Being
yeah, there you go. I like
Well,
that.
babe, this is our last episode.
Boo!
Season 3.
Yay,
We've
we get
had
a break.
100 and I think 115
Episodes. We're getting up
Crazy.
there in age.
Before we finish up, do you have any episodes this past season that particularly or that you particularly loved or were inspired by? Or
a handful. We had Vivica Steele on, and then shortly after she was on, she was in. That was for the drag ban controversy here in Tennessee, and I'll tell you, it got struck down, which is great. But Vivica Steele, she was in Rolling Stone magazine shortly after that. So you're welcome, Vivica.
She definitely owes us for that one.
But no, we're so proud of her and the work that her and the other drag queens do here in town. I said it before, but the history of Halloween. I hate that holiday.
That was fun.
That was a neat episode. I loved that. Jeremiah, we love our straights. Jeremiah, thank you so much.
Yes.
And any other straight people that want to be on, email us. We'd love to have you.
Include a picture.
Waist down. This is a holiday. Never mind. We want to see your smile. Episodes with Simona Mango, our new friend over in Malaga, Spain.
That was fun.
She is so wonderful and just so enlightening. And when she said your life purpose is inside of you, because again, I was this year soul searching and I was looking outside and looking outside and looking outside. And I said it on that episode. I don't know I've never soul searched.
Yeah.
I don't know what my soul is. Be close to your soul and away from your mind is another thing she said that really stuck out.
Yeah, that was good.
But
I think for me, I loved I think it was episode 90-91 with 2 gays and a Jew, or 2 gay Jews. 2 gays and a Jew. 2 gays and a Jew. Well, that was. It was us and 2 Jewish people. It was called 2 Gay Jews and 3 Opinions.
Yes, because they are opinionated. Yes. And that's what they said.
Yes.
But yeah, Aton and Scott.
I learned so much from that episode. I love the research piece of it, which I really have grown passionate about doing. And then just listening to them and learning. And especially with what's been going on in the world, just been thinking about them a lot lately.
Absolutely.
So I'm just grateful for Scott and Aton for that. The one with Brody Ray, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
He was so open and vulnerable and talked about everything. Everything. I just was like, whoa, okay, we're going there.
The plane ride and staying erect.
Ride with an erection. Okay.
I love it.
I perked up. And then personally, the episode 100 with Daniel, the perspectives of Christianity, just his just listening to him tell a story that he's been wanting to tell was really special. And I appreciate you for letting me do that with him
Yeah.
one-on-one. I think that was
Yes.
exactly what needed to happen. So
And
thank you for that.
give some listeners the insight of what was happening under the table.
Yeah, there were two wiener dogs that were licking my ankles.
I would not.
I was just like, I'm like moving around, and he's like going real vulnerable. I'm like, if she grabs my big toe, I'm gonna need a
Oh my
cigarette.
God, I love it. I
Um,
love it. Daniel is both your brothers are just so kind and knowledgeable, and y'all speak so well. I think it's
Oh,
great. It
thank
was
you,
a
man.
great, it was a great episode.
It was good. What are you doing for New Year's?
I have a rooftop overlooking downtown Nashville, and I may go up there. Yeah,
Okay.
I may have a little thing at the condo. I don't know yet. I don't know what I
Are you
want to
afraid to
do. I want
commit to it, or you
yes.
just don't want to be out in it?
I kind of want to go out, but then there's a way I'm like, "Ooh, I'd like to have a few people over and then go up to the rooftop because I know my neighbors will be up there.
Yeah.
And usually it's decent weather here. It's cold, right? But yeah, but then I'm like, oh, I kind of want to dress up and go to one of those like package deals
Yeah.
type of thing. So it's up in the air. A few people are kind of talking about it. What do you?
Well,
what are
I
you up
would like to cordially invite you to the W Hotel.
Oh,
We're doing that again. Remember we did it last
you
year.
did. Yeah.
So a group of us are going to do the W. They do the thing like a package thing. They have 5 different venues inside the W with different.
So you get in and you can go to the rooftop.
Yeah,
you can go downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Really,
Okay.
it was really fun.
Yeah.
I just like my big stress with New Year's is like waiting on Ubers and waiting in line to get into places. And this,
Yep.
you don't have to deal with any of that.
You go right in.
You're already there, and you can just do your thing.
How are they with tickets? Do they oversell it? Is it not as crowded?
I didn't seem crowded, but there were 5 different, there was the rooftop,
Yeah.
there was a jazz bar, there was a downstairs DJ. So
Oh,
it's
no
like you just keep
way.
moving around. And then there's other areas in the hotel that you just want to get away and sit and talk. So yeah, if you want to go,
fun. I will keep that in mind. Yes, absolutely. This has been a fun year.
know, man.
Oh my goodness.
So
Season 3.
I
Ooh,
thought
that sounds
maybe we could do kind of our end of year toast.
Ooh,
I was listening to our final episode for season 2. I forgot we did it there too. It was really fun.
we did. I know we did a Thanksgiving one last year, like a thankful thing that we didn't do this year.
Yeah.
So
so these Wes and I have kind of written a couple of toasts for the new year. So Wes,
you want me to go?
would you like to go? Let me get you a little backup music here if you're
Shucks. Yeah, I will pull up my little notepad here.
Oh, he's ready. Okay. All right, guys.
Pull up the scroll.
This is our 2023, getting ready for 2024.
Wait, did you go real funny? Because I got real serious.
Babe, you do you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I can't change it because I'm not good on that.
That's your little intro music here. So whenever you want to start.
Oh, this reminds me. I went to a jazz show at
This is
Rudy's
only
Jazz
2
Room.
minutes.
Okay. Honestly, Phil.
Squirrel.
You should see me at work.
Yeah.
It is not good. So here's what I wrote in the year of our Lord. This year has seen success, failures, happiness, and sadness, Phil. You know what I'm saying.
I do.
I spent time in nature hiking through the beautiful trails of Nashville, Percy Warner, Radnor Lake, Trails of Lebanon. There's so many great ones. Some things that I really love doing is just going to coffee with people. I know we just did lunch with our buddy Mark Logsden, and we do dinners, and that just kind of fills my love tank up. I love having great friends from far and wide. I've enjoyed time with my parents, Mammers, still doing great, my nieces and nephews, brother and sister-in-law, as well as all my friends back home in Illinois. So I'm definitely very thankful and happy for that. I've been blessed enough to donate to charities. That's another thing that really fills my tank, is by giving back and donating lots of time to my beloved country for a cause here in Music City, USA. That Charities for Children's Miracle Network. And I received a promotion at work. So there is the highs, right? The highs. But I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge how rough this year started. Remember our
Mhm.
episode last year? And then that's when I got all the calls like, what happened? Oh my
I remember.
goodness. So yeah, the challenge is to overcoming those dark thoughts after a breakup. It was super tough. At times it seemed like I wouldn't make it through. And that there was just roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. But there were many times where I had just to reset, refocus, and just when you look at the immediate present, like literally right here, right now, one step in front of the other, literally one breath, and then just journaling, taking deep breaths, and just being like our buddy Tyler Gentry says, 1% better every day.
Yeah.
Just really brought it back into, okay, maybe a rough week, a rough day, a rough hour, but it'll come back. So may sound odd, but I'm grateful for all of those times, the good and the bad. And when one door closes, another one opens.
Amen.
But you know what? We just don't know how long that hallway is going to be. So if anybody's out there listening, that hallway could be long. That other door may open up sooner rather than later. So just definitely keep trucking along. But I count my blessings, even the bad times, and I'm even more thankful for the good ones. But through our episodes and talking to you, Phillip, and our guests, I'm glad to sit with my thoughts and process the crazy world around me. I'm so thankful for your friendship and the 110% effort you put into this show. It's inspiring, and you may not know it, but you have made such a huge difference in my life. The lessons we've learned, the experiences we've shared together here in the studio and out in LA, and the growth we've achieved together have prepared us for the adventures that await. And such is season 4. And I'm excited for that season of Two Bottles Deep and to meet all the new guests that we're going to have. I'm excited to experience and write a brand new chapter with you on a blank piece of paper. Looking forward to meeting the new people, hearing all the new stories, the triumphs, the tribulations, the successes, and sharing those moments with all of you out there in listening land. But most of all, I'm excited to spend more time with y'all and you, Phillip, laughing 1,000 times every Wednesday and growing this podcast even more. And like me and our good buddy Jelly Roll says, the windshield is much larger than the rear view mirror. And that is all for me for season 3.
Hey, that was really sweet.
Oh, thank you.
That's great.
It was all chat GPT.
Right.
Just kidding. No, it would have been fancier words had it been that.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Well, thank you, Boo, for everything you do.
Of course, of course. Well, Wes,
Is this the wedding song?
with 2023 coming to a close in just a couple of weeks, I tried to think of all the lessons that I have learned this year. And here's just a few of them.
Oh, boy, I love it.
Don't get out and run from your Uber on a busy road until you know for sure that you're being robbed. Pickleball is actually fun.
Yes.
Always make sure that you use a guard while you're manscaping, unless you're going for the bloody shaved look. Picturing everyone naked while doing stand-up actually doesn't help me with stage fright. And Phillip, please quit screaming on planes. As we reach the final episode of this season, I really am overwhelmed with gratitude. Thank you, each of you, for tuning in each week, sharing your stories, and being part of this incredible journey. Your support and engagement have been the heartbeat of this show. I want to say a special thank you to our guests, whose insights, wisdom, and experiences have enriched every episode that they have been a part of. Your willingness to share has inspired all of us. And to the Spread the Positive team, thanks for all that you do to make sure Wes and I look good, sound good, and stay on task. To my friends and family, thanks for putting up with the million references I make that usually start with, "You know we did a podcast episode about that, right?" And to my next boyfriend, whoever that is, you're getting the best version of me. So buckle up, and be okay with being a backup singer or backup dancer. And finally, to you, Wes. These last 3 years have been absolutely amazing. We've grown so much together. Thank you for keeping it as stress-free as possible, even when life is absolutely crazy. Working on this podcast with you has been such a transformative part of my life, and I owe Most of that to you.
Oh,
You're an amazing human that displays commitment, integrity, and compassion like no other. I absolutely cannot wait to see what next year holds for us. So, babe, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And as always, I love you.
I love you, Phil. Wow.
Guys.
That was standing
Wow,
O.
guys, sit down. We're still in the middle
Standing
of this.
O, Phil. Couldn't have said it better. Gosh, that
Wow.
was great.
Hey, we're
What a great final episode to the year. You got old Saint Nick behind you.
we
You got
nailed
the
it. Babe.
holiday tree back here.
Yeah.
And to all of y'all, thank you so much. The mailbags, well, we didn't mention those, but those are by far, that's a given.
Everybody loves a mailbag.
I love it. Keep them coming.
Keep
if
them
you know any
coming.
guests, you want to be a guest, you have a great story, you have a wild story, you have a story that you probably would never tell anybody and you want your voice disguised.
Tell us.
We want to know that one for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, you ready to sign off, babe?
We're ready to sign off for 2023.
Let's do it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Who is this artist? Who is this artist?
I'm not sure.
Like Kenny G or something. I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
What do I do now?
Yeah, you read.
I have to read something?
Guys, this is our last episode for season 3. We sincerely hope that all of you have a fantastic holiday. Whatever that holiday is, whatever you celebrate, doesn't matter. We hope it's fun. We plan on being back for season 4 in March of 2024. And in the meantime, everybody go back and listen to all of the episodes. Listen 100 times. That's going to really help our numbers to go up.
It's going to help a lot. Yeah, we appreciate that.
And share this with every podcast, or share this with everybody in the world. Thank you guys for listening and supporting us all. We love you. And to all of you out there, have a happy, safe, and productive New Year.
You've got this. We're here for you. We love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all. God bless.
See y'all in a few months.
Let's do it. Buddy the Elf over there.
Thanks for listening to another great episode of 2 Bottles Deep.
Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast.
And while you're at it, write us a fabulous review.
Please reach out to us on our email, 2bottlesdeep@gmail.com.
There is plenty of love in this world. Be a part of it.